Hello and welcome back. I'm so glad you are back again to join us. The first episode last week was huge for me because one, it said that I basically actually did something that I said I was going to do, which sometimes just ends up being aloof and false. So I'm glad I actually followed through. But hey, you're here again now. You're listening, you're watching. Thank you guys so much for showing up and giving us your time to hang out with us tonight. I have a lot of great conversations ahead and in store, and I'm super excited to dive into them. This one's going to be a little bit more of a relaxed fit than we had last week, so I'm super excited to join in and bring on my friends. This week we have the incredible Anibal Roldan and the always up for saying something, I'm sure, Persy Herrera. Hello, gentlemen. Oh, and we have it again, ladies and gentlemen. He's working
I'm sorry.
on
Did we
a
start?
wall.
Did we
You
start?
are, yeah.
I'm sorry.
We're starting, Annabelle. Thank you
bad.
so much, though.
Sorry.
You're inside today, Annie.
I don't know. Hey, shut up.
Oh my gosh, I
Were
can hear you.
We can hear you.
Were you outside last week just because somebody kicked you out of the house? Like, what was the deal for that?
Yeah. Well, I had the soccer game right in there. So.
You booked a soccer game right during the middle of the podcast? That's what you decided to do?
No, he plays like 10 games a week. I mean,
I do.
It's
Sorry, I'm good.
I'll log on to Instagram at like 11 o'clock.
But how many of those?
Ago.
But how many of those teams have won a championship?
One.
Not how many championships did you win, but which four of the teams you're on won a championship.
Yeah. Do you want to see a trophy? I don't
want to see the trophy.
I even brought one, so you want to talk crap. I know you wanted to start, so I had it ready.
You didn't even know I was going to talk. You basically you have that at the ready because I was not even about to say anything.
I sleep with
it. He holds it at night. Yeah, he holds it at night.
Wow.
I sleep with trophies.
Oh, wow. Well, that feels like a very Atlanta United thing. So cheers, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.
There we go. Heyo. And the next person I want to cheers will be our special guest, the incredible Vera Zeigler. Hello, Vera. How are you?
Hey, what's happening?
Cheers again. Let's all four get on the cheers here. Heyo. We're starting drinking a little earlier. I know for me, it's been one heck of a week. So I didn't think I was going to drink on Wednesday because I'm trying to do this thing where, I don't know, I eat healthy and don't drink until Thursday like a dumbass, but I don't know. Today,
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened last week. I was like 3 beers in, and all of a sudden you guys are drinking water. Some of you guys aren't drinking at all, and I'm like, okay.
We're all at a match.
So then I got water today, and then I saw Kelly with her wine. I was like, oh, so today we're drinking? Okay.
Today is the drinking day. It just was one of those days. I don't know for you guys. This week just felt like it was a compounding of just work and then like life stuff, and I decided to take Friday off. And of course, the moment I tell my parents I'm taking Friday off, they're like, "Oh, that's great. You can help us out on Friday. We need some help." And I'm like, "That's not what we're doing."
Don't ever advertise your solo time.
Well, now I know better. Yeah.
Because they'll call you they'll be like, "Oh, you got an extra 5 minutes? I've got stuff to do around the house."
Does anybody have issues like that with their parents?
Oh, absolutely. They know you're available. The calls or something will come in. So yeah.
I guess I'm lucky. My parents live in Dallas, Texas, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, they can't randomly show up at your house.
No, they have to surprise me. But
I used to live, I don't know why, but I used to live literally less than a block from my parents when I moved back from LA, and it really became one of those things where I had to be very cautious of what was going on at my house, because at any moment's notice, I could just get a knock on the front door and it would be my mom deciding to stop by and say hi. And it's like,
see, the sight of my mom is welcoming because I've got 3 daughters. So if my mom ever knocks on that door, I'm like, oh yes, please come inside, come here, watch
take
them.
them.
I'm going. Yeah. It's just, it's nice.
Please take them away. Please. That's the reason to have kids is just to have parents to take them away.
That's why I have 3.
Oh my Lord. All right, let's go ahead and get into the start of the show. So as always, we're going to just go over a recap of what happened at the previous match and talk a little bit about our reactions to it. So unfortunately, the boys have not been able to see the show notes because I have decided not to share it with them just to keep them on their toes. So
I was at the game, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Big
so
shot.
I remember.
Sporting the wrong colors is what you were.
I was not. I was wearing the jersey.
No, you were pink and black, sir. Those are the complete wrong colors.
My rain jacket was, but I took it off in the stadium, so.
Yeah, but nobody saw those pictures.
I was on TV, so.
Luka Modric in the chat's trying to call me out. I'm going to say that's not the real Luka Modric, but I did.
You never know. Look, we have a wide range of fans.
That's true.
Okay?
That's true.
Clearly, it could span to professional players.
He's a big pull too. Remember that.
He'll put asses in seats. 100%.
Name.
Oh,
that's an inside joke. So bad. I'm sorry.
All right. So Atlanta versus Sporting KC, obviously 3-1. What were your big takeaways from the match? I'll start with Persy. This is not. I hope this is not the hot take. By the way,
this isn't the hot take.
For everybody to let you guys know, I have decided I'm going to give Persy one hot take. Only one hot take per episode. I held him to not even have a hot take last episode, but he gets only one this one. Go ahead.
As far as the game goes, I mean, I never have a great vantage point because I'm in the supporter section. The second goal, I was getting beer for you, so I didn't really get to see a lot of it.
You were getting beer for me? I never got that beer.
It was either you or Annie.
It was probably Annie.
You didn't get me
It was
beer.
not me.
You did
I did not get beer. I would have loved to have received beer.
No, I got the text message from you that said, beer, please.
Get me beer. Yes, and I never got it. I never got that beer.
It was exciting. It was good to be back. The point I'm taking from that is that it felt great to be back. It felt awesome. It felt good to be to see everyone again. The Araujo, like, that was unfortunate, but man, that like got everything going. Just like winning solves everything.
Okay, so this is actually going to bleed back into the conversation we had last week. The atmosphere at this tailgate. Let's discuss this because I know last conversation we had was about the culture of the tailgates, the culture of the community, and how over the past 2 seasons, from 2020 to 2021 and 21 to 2022, obviously the 2 seasons previously. Wow,
Priver?
What am I saying? Priver.
Priver?
It was a combo of 2 words. So
Priver, I barely know her.
It was lackluster to say the least. Did we feel that this last tailgate was closer? Vera, I want your opinion on this.
Yeah, so I loved the episode last week, and y'all had great notes because, like, with us not being able to be fully with each other those last 2 seasons, it was, tension. So in a lot of ways, I saw Sunday, it felt like 18 in a lot of ways, and 19,
Yeah.
It was just, once you're in a space with people and good vibes flowing with liquor and all other good stuff, and it just felt authentic again, despite whatever drama that was happening in the moment in that space. It felt legit. I think we all were hungry to be back at that capacity, because I know a lot of people who didn't come back, to the tailgates last year. We were having them, but I think a lot of people made their way and found their way over with the opener for sure. So the vibe was great. I mean, the tributes we were able to do, the hell we unleashed with smoke and flares.
I have never seen flares that bad. Like, I was almost worried for my clothing. There were way too many of them, and it was one of those things where I
You never have to use flares.
We're gonna have to edit
blasphemous.
this. Yeah,
blasphemous.
Like, what's happening here?
This is live, Kelly.
Yeah,
there were a lot of them.
They can hear you.
Zach Morris, time out.
Yeah. Mute her mic.
You're gonna need some. First, we need to get you some burnable clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And next time I see you, you're getting a flare.
Yeah, you're getting burned.
The problem I think was that I literally had just bought the sweater from way down south, that the new like sort of checkered one with the skull ATL, and I loved it because I saw it on
quite
Instagram.
Cozy.
It was cozy, it was warm, it was everything I needed for the moment. So like I think the last thing I wanted was to be by flares that could accidentally light myself on fire, but I'm all for holding a flare at some point.
I was on the other end. I was like on the outside, literally trying to get in. I just, everything started. I see the flares light up, and then like I just immediately turn over, and there's a wall of like 6 rows of people, and I was like, I tried squeezing in, I just couldn't get in. I was like, what? I'm missing this, but no, it was awesome. It looked great.
Next time, put the camera up as if you're filming, or if you are. And people move for that because y'all say, "Well, you on your footage or not?"
That is a good idea. Never thought about that. That's probably how Rachel's able to like go in and out as easily. She just has.
I swear she was she was next to me at one point, and then all of a sudden she's taking these like 4K quality GIFs inside the center. And I'm like, how'd you get in there?
Yeah, I have always been a fan of just seeing Rachel with the phone up, like going into these things, because no matter what she does, she always just captures a moment. It's really kind of cool to see it back later because she has the ability to also make them slow-mo, so that just adds drama to it with all the flares. Anibal, makes it sexy? Anibal, what was your take from the tailgate?
Well, my take is we didn't have enough flares, and I was really disappointed.
Noted.
Yeah, see,
we can fix that.
Yeah, that I have. Anyways. No, it was like Persy said. It was good to be back. It was good to see everyone. There were a lot of hugs. There were a lot of drinking.
There's a lot of drinking.
Yeah, and then like even with the rain, like it rained early on, but then it stopped, and it was good vibes all over. It was fun.
Yeah, that was the one thing that I was like. Sorry, my dog is also commenting on that, but that was one of the things that I was really kind of happy about, is the fact of like. It was supposed to be just absolutely obnoxious rain through the tailgate, and it really did stop. I mean, we only had maybe some light sprinkles, so that was a it did very much feel like playoff vibes for 2018, and just how much this city or in the fan base wraps around this sort of overcast days leading into matches. But the actual match itself, I thought, showed how well this team has depthed up to say, how well our depth pool has gotten, especially in the sense that like we ended the game with 4 fullbacks, which I don't think was intended. The fact that Dom Dwyer was able to jump in after Araujo got injured, which is not something you want after obviously a really good goal like that. I thought the goal was a really good combination play between Tyler Wolff, Joseph, and Araujo, and you were hoping to sort of see that continuous play and that continuous pressure on the defense for Sporting KC. But I thought, Dom Dwyer, having not really intended to get as many minutes as he did in the game, really sort of showed up and showed out. Persy, I know that you really liked Dom's goal.
I do. I think it was better than that Vera one where they, like you were saying, they gave him way too much space on that third one.
That was offside. I don't even want to. That
was the second one, right? Okay, yeah.
The second one. How I don't understand how that one was not offside. So we can have a conversation about that later.
Yeah, I mean that was unfortunately that was the goal I missed, but I saw it on the big screen. But it was just the eruption of the crowd base. It really carried in that buzz that we were going in through the off season, and then just seeing like everyone like score, just the goal, just hearing everyone oh man, that was great.
Yeah, I will say one of the things that I missed, but also like slightly didn't miss, was all of the beer thrown in my hair. I mean, it's par for the course. Look, I know it's par for the course and supporters, but because I have, and maybe this just might be my paranoia, but I think because I have my name on the back, that like people who are above me, yeah, because I've had chucks to the back of my head. Very
I was
clear.
sitting next to you, and I definitely threw a beer at your head. Just want to throw that out there. I wish I would have thought it harder, knowing that you don't like flares.
So
that's my regret from Sunday.
She needs burnable clothes and a hairnet. or like a bonnet of some sort.
A
And,
bonnet.
and more beer.
A bonnet, yes. Yeah.
All right,
It could be a new trend.
trademark 5-stripe bonnets,
5-stripe
Five-stripe
bonnets.
rain caps,
Yes. I can't tell
Ask
you
for it
how
by
many
name.
women would probably be very
silk
keen to
line
that.
for the Afro texture is happening. All right, I got
100%.
y'all. Yeah.
Yes. You just let me know when, and I will wear one. You'll
I'm gonna
wear
make a
one,
t-shirt.
We'll all wear one.
Bonnet babes, and you
Bonnet babe.
Bonnet babes.
Bonnet
you can get burn holes in it. It's burnable.
It
So-
looks burnt. The design
Oh,
is like,
you market it for flares. You just wear this when you're
Full
when
on
you're at the
protection.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Full on protection.
Wow.
That leads into other things. So, this is
What, Kelly?
become
What do you mean other things? Explain yourself. What do you mean?
safety.
What do you mean?
The
Safety.
From what?
one thing I kind of wanted to ask, and I don't know if I'm getting ahead of anyone,
You
but
are.
Vera,
No.
I
Oh.
felt like there was something that was missing. I don't know if maybe you have insights.
Yeah, why don't we talk about that? There
Mhm.
did
I guess.
seem to be something missing. Maybe from like when the opening kick happened, like it just
You know,
Oh,
right
yeah.
after the
was-
national anthem, right before
yeah, between
just-
No one.
so
no one's.
Golden
no one's
Spike
sang.
national anthem.
Was it because no one sang the national anthem?
Well, no,
the
the
sax,
sax,
we had a
player.
saxophone.
Oh, that
Was
sax
it
player
that it?
killed
I
it.
think
Was
that
that
was
it?
it because we kind of
I think
missed
that was
the
it.
cue to do anything
Yeah.
because it was just so soulful.
I
It
think
was
that just
so
threw
soulful.
everyone off. To be
Usually the
honest.
counter is like
It was nice.
lyrics we say when you hear this. And
Yeah.
I don't think anyone heard it because it was saxophone.
Yeah.
So nothing happened.
So nothing
But-
happened. That's so
Yeah.
crazy.
We didn't have
But-
a Tifo.
But yeah, where
Oh, there
where
it goes.
did the Tifo? Yeah.
What was
Oh.
that?
Oh.
What was that?
Yeah, man. So yeah,
Let's talk a little bit about that because I saw you at the tailgate and I was so excited because I was like, I am dying to know what this Tifo is because there's always like a really good Tifo for the first game of the season. There's always a really good one. And you have designed a lot of Tifos and you're normally always in the construction of them. So it was kind of crazy to me when I was talking with you and I have somebody outside I don't know if you guys can hear that. But oh great, my mic's that great. Perfect. So I had this conversation with you and I was asking you about the Tifo and you said what did you say? Okay, for those of you on audio, she said there was not a Tifo.
No.
So
there
let's
was
talk a
not.
little bit about that.
So it's not for a lack of wanting to do a Tifo. Yeah, I mean all the SGs with the off season we had with tributes we wanted to do, wasn't a lack of wanting it. But as you know, Tifos are big as hell, and you need a big as hell space pretty much to really execute, the art and everything in a timely fashion. So the space we currently inhabit, we use since the start of 18 on till
Yeah,
the
was
week
that
prior.
Was that the space that was
Over on the west side.
Over on the west side by the
Mhm.
garage, right? Monday Night Garage.
Yeah. So we got into that space, had a beautiful partnership, but in the back of our heads, we always knew it was like, damn, one location, everything worked out well. But if you've been over to Monday Night Garage, you've seen the capacity with all the businesses going up. It's right off the belt line. So we knew in time that, they would sell that particular space, and it moved faster, or it came up on us outside of the COVID time quicker than we thought. And so a lot of things we had to move out before we could, get anything going to make a Tifo and move that out beforehand. So the hard line of it is that we're looking for a warehouse space so we can get more Tifos done. Now we're being pretty stealthy on how we're working on one for sometime soon, but for us to really go at it like we want, we need a warehouse space. So for all those who are checking in, get your
you know any
sources
warehouse
up.
spaces?
So what do you think?
Hey.
What do you need? 20,000 square feet, 30,000 square feet?
Shit, we've done like 10,000 square feet. I mean, when we first started Bobby Dodd days,
here, you're fine.
Yeah, this is a family show.
Yeah,
the kids will learn. No,
Yeah.
They will learn.
Percy has all the family we need.
Got plenty of kids.
Yeah,
we
sorry,
definitely can't say
Percy.
we definitely can't say fuck. Definitely can't say shit. Definitely can't say any of that. Nope.
All right, noted. So fucking 10,000 square feet would be great. Like we've done more with less, and again, like we're working on one now where we're trying to do it in very small space. So, but the bigger the better. So we can do more, multiple at a time.
Anibal.
What?
This is not a that's what she said moment.
I didn't say.
Sorry, his jokes.
She's being real.
His jokes are as old as the candlelit lantern he's using to
yes, let's point that out
I'm
here.
trying to think. I need to plug it in. It's dying slowly, but I can't find the plug.
Very slowly. Remember when we were talking about you being outside in the last podcast recording? That is exactly what
better lighting.
You were inside, but it looks outside, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. You don't need to see me.
So what you're saying?
Long story short,
yeah.
We need space. We're not going to not do them because we're figuring things out. But in the time that we had to make our shift, it affected what we would have liked to do for the home opener. But it's a long ass season.
Yeah, no. Is that something that the actual front office can help with? Because I mean, maybe this is something like a conversation we can have.
We definitely always ask them this is where we are, because as much as we want to do Tifos, we know they want Tifos. I mean, they like their pictures and videos and all that kind of good stuff. And so,
why can't they open up the stadium?
You know what?
Less travel.
We'll be clean.
It is less travel, but I mean, as the season progresses, that's not a viable source for them to paint.
Yeah.
So
the paint, and two, we have already lost like half our flags when we do stuff in the stadium. Some stuff gets kept, some stuff is it's just not here anymore.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
hold on, let's talk about that. Hold up, what happened to the flags?
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, it's years past, but I think
the team takes
monster truck. So 18.
No.
When we inaugural season, when we moved in to the bins and doing all the things, sharing it with everybody, there was a monster truck event. And
I know. I went to it.
We had
I don't want to explain why.
Well, that's a Southern classic. Like,
I
mean, that's what. Yes, I've been to several monster trucks, from the dome to the bin. So yeah, monster trucks is definitely the thing.
It smells like pure gasoline, but it is kind of fun. Yeah, especially when they do like when they do like the tricks. And they do the
flips.
It's
off the
Oh yeah, it is. It's actually like, kind of fun.
This is an old Atlanta thing back in the 90s when we used to have WWE and all that was filmed down at the Omni and stuff. That was the vibe. The same thing. It's like chaos magic. It's beautiful. But in that there was a monster truck event, and we had like a match afterwards, or like a few weeks after or whatnot. But of course we break down, take all the stuff, and then we come back and we're like, where are our banners, flags? I don't know.
You don't keep them under lock and key or anything like that?
There's a cage and everything, but there's still no clear what happened.
Delineation to why it's gone.
But a whole bunch of shit with this. To this day, it's just gone. So that's
crazy.
There was a definitely okay, we need to make a whole bunch of stuff in a week's time. It was nuts, but that has happened, and
that's crazy.
It's always something. Like when we were Bobby Dodd days, we would lose flags here and there because we didn't know the sign or whatever. We would just be like, here, hold this and fly it and whatever. We made so much stuff that just never came back. So we would make stuff every match pretty much. But losing stuff, that's always a case. But it's better now. There's a place where we lock things up. But we have found that a few things
go missing. I have a question. And I mean, y'all might know this, but I have been wondering, the transport from said warehouse to the bins, those Tifos are huge.
They're massive.
How do you transport that?
Anibal don't.
Do you
What did I
fold it?
do?
Do you how does it go?
What?
Like where
He knows where his
is it? Is it a
He
is it
knows
a
why.
semi?
So,
We've like a
stick it
couple
up your
different
ass. That's what I put it.
volunteers, flatbeds, U-Hauls,
Oh wow,
like
it's a whole damn process then.
It is
it
yeah, I
has
didn't
been.
realize it was that bad.
More
Okay.
recently though, we can fold them up pretty tight, and it's usually in a flatbed truck.
You're not scared that it'll crease though, like, and then it'll just or no? Oh.
Not if you
But
keep it
like
tight.
if
No.
you see like they come like in a 20 times Chipotle burrito size fold that we do, where it's just like, okay, we get it on top,
A
get it on the truck.
20-ton Chipotle burrito.
And as soon as you open it, all the stuff fall out. Like it's that like folded up, and then
Mhm.
when we pull it in, we've like I said, the good thing is that we're at a point in the process to where things stay on or don't fall off. So
Yeah.
folding it, be it foil, especially if it's paint, we're good. But foil and things like that. One time we did L wire, and one of the things did short because it like creased just in the right spot to fuck it up. But
Can you
Mhm.
explain what L wire is? Because I'm not. I mean, like obviously, so foil. I know what foil is. Paint.
shiny.
Very
Do you?
very clearly, I know what paint is. But I am not familiar with L wire.
So we did a 420 Tifo with the newsprint with Joseph.
Yes,
And
I remember that one.
We L wire is like electric LED wire. You like people can even leave it enclosed in fabric because it burns cool, and so we ordered like huge ass rolls of it.
Kind of like fiber optic, or
yes,
okay.
yeah, and had it woven into the Tifo and along the lines of the supporter section and everything, and it actually lit up. The problem was a 330 match, and ain't nobody got it. And we told them to flip the lights, but of course we got that beautiful back, so no one really saw it. And even so we've used it, but the effect until we have like a prime time.
Yeah, like
Nighttime game,
night game.
Yeah,
That's
match
crazy
you can
because
get
I
it.
remember that Tifo distinctly, and I did not know that. Like, so the actual cigarette lit up.
Well, no, we had 17 woven in it that lit up, and then it connected to the capo stand and in front of 136 and 102. So literally when it finally got up, we plugged it in, and there's a picture somewhere where it'll be like, oh, yeah. But the effect was lost a lot because it was so quick, and of course, like daytime, but it did light up. So I'll have to find one day and show it. But
Oh, that's so
we
crazy.
keep
I did
pushing the
not
envelope what we can do. That's why we need a space because we
Speaking
got
of
L-wire.
Space, someone suggested Henry County.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that one up.
Driving to
Hey.
Henry County.
No,
That's
that's
so far.
I
Hey,
don't
hit
know
me in
how
the
far that
DMs.
is, but it sounds far.
Listen, at this point, we just trying to get in a space to do what we got to do. Now, yeah, if we like could get something close on the west side, and again, we had put out fillers and we've got some leads, the things in town, but again, free 99 is our best price, but we are putting out fillers. So we're at this point, we're taking any leads we can get to
how do
get in the
tifos
spaces.
across the league normally get made? I mean, I've seen a lot of scattered talk about certain teams.
I'm probably saying more than any other club or supporter section will ever say about tifos, because
which we appreciate.
Kind of
stuff, there should be an honest conversation about it. But like, can we talk about LAFC?
Speak on it.
Go ahead.
So obviously LAFC's fan base is big, and they very passionate people, but it's insane to me just how ridiculously expensive looking their tifos are, in the sense that I feel like there's a lot of collaboration between the club and paying and space, and
Will Ferrell's just funding the entire thing.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked, but it's like I've always felt like I love our tifos, but you can tell that like it's not something that has just been fabricated by a club because they want something there. Like, it is these supporters that have like gone in and painted and done all that stuff.
I'll put it like this from artists working on them. I wouldn't put it past them to maybe have help, but I'm not going to say that they do. Some people just got it like that. I'll be honest. It's a lot of work that goes into them, and like I said, we've come leaps and bounds from all of ours, and we've been spreading the wealth out for like how many people do them, who leads them, or whatnot. So a lot
Eric,
of different
leave me
hands
alone.
involved.
I'm sorry, Vera, but the chat's so annoying.
But
I'm gonna
I'll put it like that. It's they do some bang ass tifos. I'm not gonna lie. So if they whatever their situation is, I mean, that's just coming from knowing what it goes into to them fully.
Yeah, I mean, the tifos are beautiful. It just sometimes feels like there's a lot of help when it is supposed to just more or less be a. I mean, and that's not also saying that I know that the front office helps in. So I know that the front office helps a little bit in tifo making in general. Like there's an allocated budget, correct me if I'm wrong, Vera, from a front office to help with supplies and, you know, materials and things like that. And it's sort of up to the supporter groups to decide which games get tifos, who is the supporter group in that particular instance that's making the tifo, design, things like that. Am I on base? And that was my assumption from the years that I have talked to people.
It's under review. So both touch the bag at the same time. And we're just determining whether you're the runner or you caught the ball.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, football analogy. Love it.
Well, like I'm not going to fully confirm or deny because majority all the tifos we do are self-funded.
Would you prefer more corporate involvement, more front office involvement?
No. Okay. No. I wish
because then they have more more say into it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I wish every tifo we do is all us. And like I said, majority of them we do, it comes from all of us. Not gonna lie, like the full stadium tifo, that's how many fucking seats we had to fill up? Like
75,000, yeah.
It was a lot, but it was so pretty. It was
gorgeous. But we
And you had volunteers go to every single seat, or was that staff from the bins?
We had volunteers from every supporter group and some cheering, and then we had some volunteers. Yeah, yeah.
Some light child labor.
Some light child labor. No.
Jeez, where was the sign up for that? I would have given you 3.
Oh, like we was in there. That was the first time. So figuring out 1, 2, like a coordinated effort, making things was spelled right in the right space. That was a lot.
So Anu just said that he heard that Portland has $1 million tifo budget. That's a lot of that's a good question.
What is the
average cost? What is the average cost of a tifo?
It ain't like if we talking about $1 million budget, we do a full
stadium
every match.
Yeah.
Now, no disrespect. Portland,
I'm kidding.
Portland tifos are the truth. That's just.
No, I'm kidding.
They fucking do awesome. But $1 million budget, woo.
That's a lot.
They also have way better rigging than we have.
Yes,
they also have a soccer-specific stadium. They also have been in their space, and it was built with them in mind, as opposed to us, you know.
Yeah.
We sit in a Falcon wing. So.
Yeah.
We lift our tifos more so now on the field goal net, not actual tifo rigging. So we make the best with what we have. We also have the biggest space in MLS to inhabit.
That's true.
Because of that field goal net?
But not just
because
the whole wing, the whole supporter section, the availability.
It's a lot bigger.
I mean, it is what it is. Like we have the biggest stage in MLS. So we have a lot more we have to consider when we do one on how it's presented, how it comes across, filling up. So it's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it. But like still, $1 million budget. We had that shit.
So for the culture said Portland's budget is nonstop and stadium support is incredible. I mean, do you experience any, I don't want to say non-support, but do you experience any hardship and like trying to rig these tifos when they are there? Like what is this the stadium like in facilitating this?
When it's gotten better over time because they want it. They know the impact of it. So we have pushed them to say, hey, this is what we want to do. This is what we need to do it. We want to try this. So initially we had back rigging installed, which worked, but the people who
can you explain what back rigging is?
Okay. So our supporter section, you got the big ass Falcon wing, you got the top of 102, which is the very, very top of the wings, so the back of the wings. There's rigging that they installed, but it's janky as hell. Most leagues have an automated system that literally clamps it, and they push a button and the thing goes up.
Oh my
for
gosh.
something that big.
Yeah.
Or if it is based on a pulley system, which ours is, it's nowhere near as big as what we're doing. And that's, I mean, oh goodness, what are the dimensions on that? Like,
wait, hold on. Our Tifos are based on a pulley system, so there are people pulling up the Tifos.
Yeah, every time, even the field goal net, it's all like, we people on the Capitol stand spot and saying go, and when load in, we're doing it 3-4 times because we need to make sure one is straight, it's crooked, weight distribution, all that kind of good stuff. So it's like I said, it's a lot that goes into this, a lot. So you talk about stadium help, they pay for the rigging team to do it. There's a lot of licensing and insurance, so supporters can't be the ones to do that. So we worked with the Falcons field goal team since we start using the front or the field goal netting to actually lift them. And I think even so, but we've worked with a couple of different engineering people to try to make it better. So the front, it shows better. The size and weight, things work. So we're staying up there for now, but we do have another system. It's just shitty in a lot of ways. So
how about support? As far as from the supporters groups, are you good with the volunteers you have, or has there ever been like a lack of support? Like, is everything pretty good?
I mean, especially now, we're more cohesive as supporter groups go right now. It's actually a beautiful time to be alive. We've never had a lack of hands wanting to help on Tifo. That usually never.
And I guess is the only way, I saw someone say that the only way to help with any Tifos is by joining a supporters group?
Yeah, because when we decide to go and get into one, it's location, time, sign up, because we ran into points where we've had too many hands and you have people waiting to do something and you're trying to direct people who are doing something what to do. And you got other people just like, I want to help. And it's like, just paint 2 stripes. Okay. So it's at that point where like, you need a lot of number of people to come and show up. And, you give you some grace so you have enough hands, but you don't want too many because then it's too many. And also too, we leave it to people with SGs because that's, you would expect them to respect the secrecy of whatever we're working on.
Right. No photos. Don't talk about it. Yeah, that type of thing. Because I used to join in on the Tifo painting parties back in 2017, 2018, and it was a lot of like, you come, you grab a paintbrush, you grab a roller or whatever, and you were normally chalking it out. I remember every time I went there. So it was always one of these fun things to sort of see you just off of a grid going for it, which to me is absolutely fascinating because, like, one, not only designing something that's supposed to be that large is a lot of mental brain power, but to like compartmentalize sizing and like which particular block needs to be shaped this way to make the larger picture, to me was absolutely crazy. And I absolutely loved watching you do that because I still to this day, like, I do design, like I have worked in design, but I still can't in my brain think of how would I make one picture that's this on a screen, then grid that up and then blow that up to be, what's the largest Tifo? Not the largest Tifo. What is an average size Tifo? So is that 30 feet by what?
30 by feet? 80 is the space we kind of work in right now. But we've done the biggest one or say the max one we did was gold standard, and that one was the back rigging, which was like 200 by 90 or 80 or 90. Then we did ones that,
and that's 200 feet, correct?
200 feet, yeah.
Oof.
And then we had ones that were crowd surf. We had one that went off the bridge, and they were all hand drawn. Like, yeah. So massive. And those were before we, got smarter and figured out a system to where we can trace a bit easier. But yeah, those first few seasons, it was all chalk grids, dropping chalk lines. And my favorite thing was when chalk entered the building, because I would run out of it. So yeah, as I said, we've gotten smarter, but I think that's why I guess I'm honored and thankful that people say they give me whatever that title or whatnot, because
the Tifo Queen.
Yeah, I drew a lot of them. Yeah,
that is just
at the moment it was like I am sitting on a plane or ask questions. Got to make it happen. This goes up next week. We're doing another one the week after. I got to go out of town with work, so we need to work on this one too. So it was a lot of that the first 2 seasons for sure. So, yeah, if you know, it was a lot, and I couldn't draw.
That's why I asked the question as far as the transfer, because I'm new to Tifo. I've never volunteered. I don't belong to a supporters group, but I was always just like, how do they get that massive thing into the stadium? You're talking 200 feet like that. I'm assuming
it's
a semi.
Heavy. Also, it's so heavy.
Back when at Bobby Dodd, before we figured out how to use the right type of Tifo fabric, we were using fabric, remnants from and it would be heavy, but from just the fabric, but then also the levels of paint we had to put on just so the color came through true. So these things would be massive. So I remember we used to rent a U-Haul from our warehouse space to Bobby Dodd and have people we would burrito fold it, snake line it and feed it in, and then have to stretch it all out and then accordion fold it down towards the capo so it would be set up so don't shake the Tifo days. So that was a whole thing.
You ever get nervous if you put the wrong end up, or you unravel it upside down or something?
Every time. I swear.
Would you have nightmares? You would have a nightmare that you're in your dream, you're at the stadium and they come up upside down.
I still do. It doesn't even have to be my Tifo. I just be like, please be straight. Please be on the right side. Please don't be crooked.
All right, I want to add this comment in. So Steven Zacharias is actually a Portland Timbers fan and is in the supporter groups there. He does say that the Timber Army, is a big org, but the Timber Army does not have $1 million budget. And rigging, just remember that Timber Gym used to rappel into the Timber Army, and they have been rigging for a long time. So I did not know that Timber Gym repelled into the supporter section, but now I do.
Thanks, Steven.
Thanks, Steven. Appreciate that.
Did he repel in with
the more you know?
The more you know. God, I hope he did not repel in with a chainsaw. That would be frightening.
Yo, that would actually be dope.
That would be sick as fuck.
Just come swinging out like violence. I like it. We should do it with a hammer.
It's a new level of Chainsaw Massacre that was never thought of before. Oh my Lord! So many policies against that, I'm sure.
But again, Portland has been at it, so they know what they got. And again, this more no disrespect, but they know what they got, so they've got more lineage and working with what that. And again, we've grown. We know we have now, but we want more. So
now I know that you were saying that you would rather it be reflective of the supporters groups, and you didn't really want so much corporate involvement. But has there been pushback? Have they been wanting to be more involved, kind of to form a narrative of what they want showcased or anything like that?
No, not in that sense. We do have to get approval because that's just the part of it. I think every SG has to get approval from their club, because if there's something that goes up that's not within league rules, you're getting fined, something happens. So, we stay within our boundaries to get things approved. Have there
Sure.
been hidden messages? Maybe.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh.
But, that's just being creative. You figure those things out.
Mhm.
One of the things that I would say is so we did the Juneteenth Tifo last season
Mhm.
with John Lewis.
Mhm.
And all the SGs came together, and we reached out to the club wanting to do something unified, but we wanted to talk to the players. So they actually helped coordinate to where we got to talk to Miles and Bello and a good contingent of some of the academy players as well, and just get their thoughts on things, And some of the words and verbiage that was used in that Tifo came from our players.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was something that we spearheaded as supporter groups, asked to reach out, and that kind of partnership. It was never initiated from the club to say we should do.
Hey, put our players' quotes in here, right?
Or even that we should do one in here. Even when we pick our dates of what Tifos we want to do. I mean, we're strategic too. We look at like, oh, this is a national televised game, this, that, and the other. It comes from the supporter goods very much, but we understand that we have to work within MLS SG
the
rules
bounds,
as
the
far as
confines of the rules,
like
right?
that. So, and you want to be respectful. Like even if we jab at somebody, again, you want to be creative. You don't want to just, throw birds, blatant birds.
All right, we do need to wrap this up, but I wanted to ask you what was your favorite Tifo that you've ever designed?
I get to ask this question the most. And
it's an important question.
It's important. It is important. Now, I will have to say there's favorite and proudest. And favorite has moved, of course, the more I do, the one, closest child, how that is.
Yes.
Percy.
Listen,
Persy,
I don't have favorites.
Who's your favorite child? Same question.
I don't have favorites.
Same question.
Yeah, who's your favorite? Percy?
Okay, which is your
favorite?
favorite?
Percy, which one's your favorite?
Don't get me in trouble.
Tifos are my kids, so like.
Yeah, I know. Don't take that away.
Okay, you know what? I have my favorite 10-year-old, I have my favorite 7-year-old, and I have my favorite almost 2-year-old.
That is such a political answer. Good job.
So am I the 10-year-old or?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no comment on that, Anibal.
So go ahead. You were saying your favorite.
My favorite. So my proudest one is definitely the John Lewis one, because that just means a lot for all the reasons. So hella proud of that one.
Yeah.
My favorite is the MLS Cup Tifo, because I know like it's the MLS Cup Tifo, and just to have
100%,
a piece of that day and moment. Yeah, I mean, until we get to the next one.
Listen, that Tifo was so good that it ended up on like FIFA. Like they showed it every time you played in Atlanta, the video game. Every time you went in Atlanta, that Tifo showed up.
That was nuts. I remember somebody sending me a screenshot. I was like, "Yo!" And I was like, "Damn!" That one.
Everyone saw that.
You got to collect royalties on that.
That's the thing. and trust. A lot of work still goes into trying to collect, and that it's a lot that goes into that. So that's a whole nother,
that's a whole nother conversation, a whole nother night.
But you go into Tifos, you're not looking for that. Like it's so much more about what it gives to the club and the city and the fans to propel them forward. Then
it's a good visual representation also of just like the supporter culture and like where we're at in the community of the city. So I've always respected the Tifos that have come out. Some of them have been offlandish. Like I haven't really gotten it, but I always respect the work that goes into it. I think. I know I said we need to sort of wrap this up, but the one that I guess I have a question on would be the it's almost like a Tifo that replayed the Olympic icon guy, but also had a ham on it. Is he? Yeah. Is he? And then a ham, and then I didn't necessarily understand it, but I appreciated it.
Yeah, I appreciated it because the artist is a local artist. That was not me. And like I said, everyone thinks I do every Tifo. I do not do every Tifo, but because there's rotation of a spot when we play and this, that, and other. I just take on that weight, but I don't do every Tifo. And again, we spread that wealth because there are way more voices than just mine to speak on what should go up and everything. But yeah, that one was like deep Atlanta because it was a local artist. It has some references again, Izzy, which is Olympic character, but then he has his funk on him and all that. So I mean, sometimes you take that risk. I mean, even if I put one up that I think, oh, everybody gonna get this one, and be like,
you see the looks like, oh.
So actually, that being said, let's the rest of us, why don't we go through our favorite Tifos and then see if that was one that Vera designed.
And you're not gonna hurt my feelings, trust. So
because I do want to point out here.
Okay, well then I'm just gonna say I don't
United
joined the. Just kidding.
So Parceros United joined the chat and they said that the peach is better than the apple was a badass Tifo. I would agree. It's also one of the most iconic Tifos when you think about Atlanta United Tifos, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anibal, why don't we start with you? What is your favorite Tifo? And MLS Cup again can't be in the conversation because I feel like again
you literally can't tell me what to do. Which one? There's so many. Let's say I like the Tata one, the farewell, the Tata one. I like that one. The meaning behind it, and like you could see Tata's reaction to it. So that was a cool one. I like that one.
Yeah, shout out to Chi. That was a combination. That was a combination. Chi Santo she was with Footy Mob. She did the work, and we came together, and I came up with the slogan and verbiage. But we had 4 like options on the table, and I think after we had that meeting, it came out like Tata's. This is it. Yeah, officially, awesome. And we were like, we got to do it. We got to do it.
Right, so, I like that.
Persy?
So I love horror. I love horror movies. I love everything scary, right? And I horror, like the genre.
What'd you call me?
If that's what they call you, man, I'm sorry. But so I do like marathons around Halloween with my oldest daughter. We've watched every Freddy, Jade, every old school vintage Halloween
so
we watched together.
Favorite.
So
yeah.
Wow.
Slowly but surely we got the answer.
Sorry, you know what, Millie, Delaney, she's not. All 3 of you are equally my favorite. No, so the Joseph Shining one, that one was mint. I loved it.
Sorry, Vera, was that you?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you! Don't be coy about it.
Yeah.
Don't be coy. Do not be coy.
Thank you.
You
still have to pick. No.
Yeah, no, I do still have to. Sorry. So my favorite one would be one that I helped paint, but I also just really love the players. Would be the Danger Zone Tifo. It was one of my favorite Tifos. It just for me it talked a lot about our back line, talked about a lot about like the aggression that we had in defense at that point in time, and that's one of my favorite ones. So did you?
That's a big shout out to Chi.
Yeah,
it was
a
freaking genius.
It was Archer.
Yes. That's right. It was Archer themed. Yeah,
it was like the first one we did where we honored players who weren't Joseph or Mickey or Tito. Yeah, that one is actually one of my favorites too.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, it was so good. I loved it so much. The other one I will give an honorary shout out to was Lion Tamer.
The
Lion Tamer one.
That was Christian. That was with Tata. That was the Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Yes, Game of Thrones Lion Tamer. Yeah, there was like the Scar was laying down. Yeah.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a really good one.
What was the one that was like a book? I remember it was like one that was trying to open it. It was in the back. That's some of the janky rig you're saying.
Yeah, and it's part of why, like during the actual Showtime reveal, it didn't go off well because the rigging was so shitty. But when we loaded in and did it, it worked fine. Of course, we learned from each one, and doing it in load in when there's no one in those seats in the back, as opposed to doing it and during the match where everyone's sitting in their seats. It didn't come off. And then 2, the rigging.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah. All right.
That was a cool idea, though. I like that
That's
one, too.
also what caused
cool.
the confusion with the upside down one, right? The one that was the Stranger Things Tifo that when we played Orlando.
When we played Orlando. Yeah, that was the RSG one that we did. The book was a TL when they led. So again, like I said, there have been a lot of hands and hearts and hella creative minds that go behind them. I'm just the one that people think happens to me. But
I'm so glad though we got you on this, because like
fun.
these are conversations that like I haven't had the ability to have and like really understand, rigging and like how large these things are and how heavy they are and the transportation of them. And like, again, if anybody listening to this or watching this knows of a place where these guys can do the painting of the Tifos, the construction of the Tifos, please let them know. We need our Tifos back. We miss them. But please.
Well, they're coming back. Please. We just want to be able to do it in
a space that's convenient for making them. Yes.
Absolutely.
Totally understand. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's go ahead and wrap into what we're looking at for the next game. The match preview, it's Atlanta United versus Colorado Rapids. It's away. It is going to be, I believe the kickoff is at 6:30 this weekend. 6. And then so the Colorado Rapids lost pretty badly to LAFC. Do we want to talk a little bit about this? Because it was a hat trick by Carlos Vela, but Persy and I were rewatching this stuff just as catching up, and it looked like Carlos was offside on that second goal, and they just did not have a good enough angle to qualify it as being offside.
It wasn't clear, obvious.
Well, that brings up the question: is Carlos Vela that good, or is Colorado's backline
because of one goal?
Because
of one goal
for our sake this weekend.
It was 3 goals.
It was 3 goals. He had a hat trick.
You're saying, but like one is the reason why you don't think he's good.
No. The third goal. So the first one was a PK from a handball,
right?
And then the second goal,
That's what I'm saying. But you're like questioning his like talent because of that one goal.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not questioning Carlos' talent.
Persy. I'm talking to Persy. I'm sorry.
Persy,
is he really that good? Like because of one goal, it was off. Come on.
So you're saying he's not good?
No, that's what you said.
They're asking.
I'm repeating what you said.
Oh no, yeah. I wonder, is he that good? Is he overrated?
Because of one goal. That's what I'm asking. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's a penalty merchant, man. Anyway.
My God, what? So annoying.
That's the same thing they say about Joseph. So I mean,
we're not even playing LAFC. So
I don't even want Joseph on the team. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, you're so annoying.
What did you just say?
Kick him out.
Hold up. If my Flair thing was bad, let's rewind.
Yeah.
Did you just say you don't want Joseph on the team?
We should have sold him. I feel like it was, and it dates back. I'm so sorry, and I know that was one of my favorite Tifos too. But it goes back to that penalty that he should not have taken.
That's the reason. That's the reason, Persy.
And he literally only needs one reason.
He's injury prone. Just get what we can. Anyway, that's my hot take for the.
He got. Oh my God,
dude, that's a Flair size take. That's like.
That's worse.
Okay, hold up, Vera. That was way worse than a Flair take.
That's all the Flairs that one size take did. Like,
yeah, that's.
I agree, Patrick. I should absolutely disconnect. You should
Please
totally be removed from the chat. Like this is.
I just opened up a fresh beer. Please don't.
You.
Drink it alone.
My Lord. That was way worse than my Flair take. Way worse.
Yeah,
way worse.
Back on track. Yeah.
Let's get back. Yeah, let's ignore that was ever said, because that is.
No,
that is worse. That's not even a hot take. That's just
it's
a smart take.
You remember the last person who came for the king and wouldn't let him drink water?
Yeah, he's dead now.
He ain't here no more.
He's dead now.
That was blown out of proportion.
Do you want to be dead?
That was blown out of
proportion. And you like the shining Tifo. That was his
I love the shining Tifo. That's why it paid me to say.
Oh my gosh,
man!
So there is a good possibility that the Colorado Rapids backline is just in fact that bad at this moment.
I don't. Yeah.
Go ahead,
ahead,
Annabelle.
Annie.
What would you like to
Well,
say?
they were also like, we know from experience, they're in CCL.
Yeah.
That rotation when it
They
comes to
did
like,
really well last year, for
but
sure.
I'm saying like that whole like
Fluke.
playing preseason, basically CCL is their preseason. There's a lot of like too much player turnover, like, you know, rotations that they have to like think about while playing that tournament. So that's why I'm kind of like, yeah, LAFC beat them, but it was like you said, it wasn't that convincing. Like it's one PK, one offside goal, and then another one real goal. It's kind of like two things go right for them, and it's 1-0. So it
I
doesn't look as
understand.
bad.
Looking
But
back at the
CCL,
match
like,
recap, though, it did seem like, you know, one of the things that we used to our advantage against the Sporting Kansas City match was this pressure to the defense, right? It was that trying to fight to get the ball when we didn't have the ball. And it, looking at the recap from this weekend against LAFC, it looked like that was the same thing that LAFC were doing, as they were pressuring the ball. They weren't letting them just idly possess. It was a lot of aggressive action to reclaim the ball. And I will say, one of the goals that Carlos Vela got was because the defense wasn't closing him down outside of the box. I mean, when you have Carlos Vela outside the box, you should not be
On his
giving him
left foot.
space and or backing up. That's just not what you're supposed to be doing as a
That
defender.
left foot, man.
And his left foot, yeah.
And it was his left foot. It was a left foot curler into the back left top corner. And you gave him space, though. That's the problem. Like, that's not necessarily a turnover or something that's done by tired legs. That's something that's just in a defensive mindset. That's not something that should be happening, as like giving somebody like Vela space and top of the box. That's a defensive error.
Yeah.
I mean, Joseph will need less space than that, and he can attack that. Like, so for us, that looks good. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, and too, seeing Joseph in a more giving mindset too Sunday was very nice, because he draws some attention. So imagine matchups this weekend where they're again trying to hone on him. Granted, losing Arujas doesn't help, but at this point, the way they collapse and open up that space, his touch is just nuts anywhere he wants to put it. So
yeah, I mean,
if they want to give space, give space.
100%,
that's it. Yeah.
His assist counts last year, and also now I feel like going to be leading into this year, is going to be on a level we haven't really seen from him before. And I think that's obviously power to prove that Joseph should be on this team.
Tied for first right now.
No, we should sell him to a USL team. That's what Persy said. That's what Persy said earlier. Right, Persy?
God.
Yeah, get what we can.
Get what we can.
All right, so we're gonna head into the community section here in a second. But the one thing I wanted us to do before we get off of the match preview is I would like to hear all of you guys' take on who you think it would be a standout from this upcoming weekend. Clearly, I'm not expecting this to be like predictions, because I would have said going into this past weekend with Sporting Kansas City that Araújo would have been the standout all 90 minutes. Crap happens. But I mean, clearly I would love to see what you guys are thinking as we're leading into this match. So I'll start with Vera. I'll start with our guest.
I'm not going to pick one. I'm going to lead to what we talked about earlier about the depth. With Araújo going out and having to rely on some, players we're not used to. We still don't have all our players in. I'm still putting a lot of weight on the depth of the club right now and how that's showing up and proving so far. So I think it's going to come through for us again with injuries coming up and travel again. I think it's going to happen. I like the rotation that we saw come in. Seeing homegrowns out there, so I'm just going to chalk it up to club depth.
Anibal.
Yeah. Like, essentially, this is our B team with so many people missing out. Now Araujo's hurt, but it's very promising, and we're getting Alan Franco back in the back line. Even though George Campbell played a very good game,
I thought he did well.
Yeah, he played a very good game for what it's worth. I mean, Dom, we literally had him for a week, and he's already producing for us, which is insane. Yeah, I just think as far as like Colorado, like we're gonna get their best team so far that they've put on the field. So because they had a little bit more time between CCL and this match, so we're probably gonna get their best. But they don't have a striker. They don't have a 9. They don't have anyone to like. So if our backline plays the way they played against SKC, with pretty much taming Russell and Shallowy got that goal, but it was
Gutman.
But it was a set.
We
Yeah,
didn't talk
it was a
about
set piece.
Gutman.
That's what I'm saying.
That's my guy.
Gutman,
That's
like,
my guy.
If our back line plays the way they we know they can play, I don't think there's anyone that can score on us. So it's really just on our front line. Like Joseph just has to chill out. I think it's just Joseph for me.
Yeah.
Do what he does.
Do what he does.
Gutman, 100%. If we're going, trending from last week into this next week, just keeping that hustle, keeping everything going. I mean, the guy just. I do have a question though in regards to was the yellow given because he kicked it out of bounds?
Yeah, so that was a whole confusion regardless. So what ended up happening is that I don't think Gutman heard the whistle. So when he was kicking the ball out for Aruju, the whistle was already blown to stop the play, so it was seen
for
as
the
like
offsides because he was offsides on that play.
Yeah, he was offside, so it was also
that's what the
seen
whistle
as
blew.
like a it was seen as like a act of time wasting or retaliation or anything like that. It was not an appropriate yellow.
No.
And I will refer to Jason on this. I mean, Jason does a lot of really good match recaps, and I will also totally say Off the Woodwork is the podcast that they do in the hour long after the game, in which they sort of recap and talk about sort of what's happened in the match. I always love listening to that because I get a lot of a lot of insight from what happened in the game and to understand sort of the things that happened as we're sitting in the stands and screaming. We don't necessarily get to see see everything or get the advantage that these guys do. But that was one of the things that they said that should have been handled by the sideline referees and the fourth AR, and it wasn't, and that's something that needs to get cleaned up because it shouldn't have been given.
Right.
No.
But so you're saying Gutman though is your guy for this upcoming match?
Yeah, that's the guy that's going to be. Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
I mean, crowd favorite instantly.
He balled out. I was
the whole team balled out though. I think like the effort was just there. What we were missing the last couple of years is that effort, just trying.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like just under Pineda, the team just wants to play for him. So I feel like the effort is there. Gutman obviously showed out, which is crazy, but like I just think overall the team is just gelling. So
it felt good as a fan, though. That buzz, the buzz that we had during the off season. In a sense, we got rewarded on Sunday, right? It was nice to keep, and it's nice to keep that going. And I'm sure the players are absolutely loving the start. But
I think them two feeling us full capacity and the sounds, like watching the game back, we was in it.
It was
we were in it.
Like,
it was the first time that the SS has been like that for a while,
a long time.
So it was really exciting to be part of.
Yeah, and for our new guys too to feel that, like there was a off-season poll that kind of came out that talked about from the players on where they like to play, and players who don't play in Atlanta were all like, "Where would you like to play?" And Atlanta was.
Was like the best atmosphere.
Best atmosphere, Atlanta, hands down. And that says a lot when the players say it. We know what the stats and media, all that kind of stuff, but when the players say that, that means a lot. That's why I think it's so important when we're in there. Like, give it.
We're in there. Yeah.
Give it to them.
Yeah. All right. So I will say my two things to watch for the upcoming match. One, George Campbell, because I do feel like he's gotten a lot of opportunity to really prove himself on the back line. Obviously, Alan Franco is still coming back from injury, so George will still have a little bit more time.
He's good.
They're not going to pull him in. That's true. That's right.
He wasn't hurt.
Suspended. You're right. You're
so
right.
He should start.
You're right. Start.
You're making up injuries now. We don't need that. We got enough.
There's a lot of injuries. I think that's the problem. Is that
Yeah,
it always
that's what
feels
I'm
like there are
saying, though.
injuries.
We don't
I
have
think
to
I
add.
confused Alan Franco with Sosa for a second. So
Yeah, Sosa's out for that. Yeah.
I still think George Campbell had a great game, and you're absolutely right. They probably will put Alan Franco back in. So then I'm going to change my who to watch, and I'm going to say Josetu because I still think he's a great linking midfielder from the back line to the forward. And I love the way that he's been able to sort of compact the midfield in the sense of where it doesn't feel like there's a lot of space that's missed there, and it's a lot of good really linking passes from him. So I will say he will be my man of to watch. And then my second one is snow season, baby. They're saying there's supposed to be a pretty good forecast for snow up in Colorado this weekend.
Oh,
What is the
geez.
likelihood we get another orange ball type of match situation?
Bring it.
Oh, and the green kit? If we use the mint kit?
Mint and
that's
orange
right.
In the
on
Mint
snow?
and orange on
Yeah.
snow.
That'd be fire.
Aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that actually look nice.
Wow.
And we have
I
good
didn't even
track
think
record
of
in
that.
snow.
That's what's
We
happening.
got good track record in
Yeah.
snow.
I have to
Just
I
got
have
a
to
hat
get
trick
the
of
new
snow?
kit before this weekend because I forgot it's going to be an away game and I don't have the kit
Yeah, I
yet.
don't have it either.
All
I'm
right,
waiting
now,
until we
y'all.
wear it.
Do you have it, Vera? Did you already buy it?
Yeah, I got it. It's here because, of course, nothing stays the same when I touch it. So I have to do something. It's so much better in person than
It is.
Yeah, when I saw
I
this
will agree
weekend-
with that.
than
A
it.
lot of
So
people
even
wearing
like now, I'm saying in person, and I'm trying to hold it up with the light, and it looks like shit on the screen.
Oh, looks good. I
But-
like it.
It's dope. It's as far as like the colorway, contrasting numbers. I like the story behind it. I would like for one day us not to
design
have
it.
to be, well, of course that, but it's still through Adidas. But I just don't want them to put templates on us because
Yeah, the template's a problem is that they keep recycling it and it's infuriating.
it's infuriating. And when you see clubs like Portland be able to throw some roses on their stuff, which for me is
Right.
the hands down winner of kits.
Yeah,
this
100%. I
offseason.
agree. 100%.
Yeah.
As far
Then-
as in pictures, that wins hands down. When I saw them play in it, I
They still look
didn't
good.
like it too much.
Yeah.
No,
it
it
was
still
a
looked good.
little.
I still buy it. Yeah.
No, it's so
I
good.
still liked it. I still liked it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's still awesome. I love the originality. I mean,
Yeah. And again, we buy everything they put it
Anything.
on. So
That's the thing
Yeah.
too. Is like, yeah, they
That's
just go by
true.
numbers at that point. That's why
we're
those
always
templates-
going to have a third option. I mean,
Mhm.
until something
All
catastrophic.
right, let's do our community chat. As somebody in the last episode said that the chat is the friend zone. So everybody in the friend
Story of
zone,
my life.
everybody in the friend zone, please send in your questions. Anything you'd like us to talk about. We're gonna hang out probably here for another 10 minutes or less because I know Vera's got some really important things to do, and I know that these guys would like Anibal's got to play a soccer game after this, and Persy, I don't know. You have 3 kids. I'm sure you're doing something.
Yeah, bedtime.
Only
Something.
one's his favorite.
No, she puts herself to
No.
sleep. I mean, no.
What? See?
How hard is that as a parent to like not pick a favorite?
Well, it goes. I'll be honest. It goes. You go through phases, because it's sometimes one is really nice to you, then they turn into just the devil incarnate, and then the next one's nice to you. So it goes phases, but I mean it all levels out. They're all great. Obviously, parents do have favorites. If they say they don't, they're lying to you.
I mean, I'm well aware who my parents' favorites are. I'm my dad's favorite. Like I'm very well aware of that. And then I'm very well aware that my sister is my mom's favorite. And that's just something I've accepted over time. But like
Doesn't
Yes.
mean we love you. It doesn't mean we love you any less.
I,
It just means
Yeah,
we
it does.
might
Don't
we
lie.
might financially help you a little more. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think that happens. Oh yeah, so let's
think
shout
that
out
correlates.
Vera's merch. Vera, where can people find your merch?
Okay, dig it. So I've got versatile.com. It's VERAZATL. No, scratch that. It's VERZATL.com. Sorry.
Let's put it in the chat. Put it in the
I
chat.
did. I just put it in
we'll
the chat.
chat.
I just
We'll
put it in the chat. There we are.
That's it.
There we
Don't
are.
listen to me. That's it. But yeah, I'm creating some stuff, just the things you want to put out there or say and why not? So it's kind of a homage place where I put all Atlanta stuff on there. So you'll go on there and find stuff.
I'm still wondering where your jackets are though, because you come up with some of the flyest jackets and you don't have those in merch.
They are coming because the thing with the jackets, they're customized things. So I'm working on
one of a kind, one of one.
Yeah, like I make them for you. So it's a collaborative thing.
Kelly, one of one. You got to make.
I'm aware of what one of one. Yes.
Okay.
But working on that so I can definitely open that up because I want to share the love and swag on all things. So this one, the 100 Goals, which dropped, of course, from Joseph Wynn, the Build the Statue.
Yeah, I love that one. Also.
That's definitely up there. I've got Peach Ball, and I've got one that was to be exclusive. I don't know if it's going to show because again, I've got a design that's going with.
Yes, like I'm now excited. We get exclusive looks and stuff.
All right, yeah, this is exclusive. It's the design. You're not gonna be able to see it because this is a sample test, and of course the contrast is shit. But you can kind of make out what's happening there.
Yeah.
Well, it's.
I don't know. So I guess that is what you would be an actual tease. So
yeah,
those are really good teas. Yeah,
that is a really good tease.
Making going with the forest thing again. I love the story. I personally call it the So Fresh So Clean kit because it's minty and it's recyclable and
it is recyclable. Better. I did love that part of it.
Which is dope. So
yeah.
So I've got things coming. In fact, and that's going to launch Friday. Those designs, and it's like 3 new designs that all go with the City in the Forest theme. There'll be some shirts and like tote bags and things people can get on versatile.com. Yeah.
Hell yes. Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it for the night. Vera, where can people find you if they want to find you, buy your merch, see you on Instagram? Not on Twitter, though. She doesn't tweet a lot. We found that out. But go ahead.
Platforms. That's me. But the only one I'm really active on and you can pay attention is on Instagram. And through there, you can find Versatile. And I have Bound to Be Epic, which is kind of my nerd space where I just I'm going to see Batman tomorrow, the Batman.
And rumor has it that you have work in a museum as well?
Oh, yeah. A space on the west side called the Mint. And they had this postcard shop show where you do a piece and put it up. It was like, so it was part of a collective of artists who could, you had the space to put something up. So that went down this past weekend and definitely plan on doing that more. Apart from being able to wear the art is be able to put it out there. So plan on painting a lot more of my designs and creations and putting up for people to have because I've heard it since season 1 and now I'm just getting good. So just if you follow me on Verations, you'll see it for sure because that's where the home base will be. And I'll always link to where you'll be able to go see it and support.
Can you spell that for our podcast listeners?
So at Verations, that's VERATIONS.
And that is on Instagram. And then you can also find her on Twitter if you want to find her on Twitter.
Yeah, you can tweet me, but I'm not going to come back at you. It's a safe space, literally.
Percy.
You can tweet me and I'll absolutely come back at you.
We know.
And then if you wanted to find some of her work as well, you can find that at VERZ, as in Zeigler, ATL.com. All right. Awesome. Anibal, let's hear you, sir. Let's hear where people can find you instead of, at a soccer field somewhere.
In a ditch.
That's really dark and grim. Let's not go there.
I'm kidding. Jeez. You can say right there at Latin Heat. I tweet, I guess.
You do TikTok. Tweet. You do TikTok. I would say Instagram better than Jürgen Damm.
Yeah, but I don't get paid millions of dollars. So
don't feed his ego.
But I don't get paid millions of dollars, so it literally doesn't matter. Actually, where is he? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. Persy, I mean, do you want to share where people can attack you?
Yeah, it's at PH_R out. It's actually far out. I had some people message me afterwards wondering, like, oh, that's what your handle spells out, far out? Well, yeah. I got doxxed like 2 years ago, so I took my first and last name off of it. So when people tweet me with my first and last name, I don't like that. So far out, PH_R out.
Okay, so when you tweet him, make sure to say, hey, at Persy Herrera, why do you think Joseph doesn't deserve to be on the team? And just ask him straight up.
And just for anybody who needs the handle, it's at PH_AROUT, because we need to make that specific so people can find you directly. Just so they know. Just so they know. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you again so much. I'm so glad you all came to hang out with me and my friends. We had an amazing time. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining. You're amazing. If you want to find us or watch the podcast again or listen to the podcast, which is now on all of your podcatchers, you can find it at Kelly and Friends or on YouTube, Kelly and Friends. We do this live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. EST. Come join us, grab a beer, hang out in the friend zone, or just hang out in general. We love having you, and we will talk to you next week. Big special guest next week if I can grab it. I would love for you guys to join in on that. It's going to be a fun, exciting chat next week. Please do not miss that. Wednesday, 7 p.m. EST. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We out! As once I figure out how to we out myself. Okay. Bye, everybody.